Hey guys, this is Mistrfister. Today we're going to be talking about the Righteous Fire Chieftain for patch 3.12. This is Heist League. Currently, we're looking at 8 endurance charges with this build with a shit ton of life regen. So as it sits, right now standing here I have 2,171 life regen. When I used my Enduring Cry, shoots up a little over 4,000. Right. So, the gear that you'd actually want for this build, it's expensive, so keep that in mind. This is not a starter build. You want a helmet with the triple socketed gems, so you're looking for at least burning damage, conk effect, and LE damage. These can be crafted. You need a Elder. I recommend item level 82, and I recommend the Eternal Version Net for the helmet style. Preferably you do want life on it, but I got armor and it works. I mean, armor sucks, but I mean it works better than nothing. The Enduring Cry grants 1 additional endurance charge. That doesn't give you max endurance charges. That's just a shitty roll I happened to get when I was going through Uber Labs. But you'll want to craft a helmet like that. You get a 82 Elder base, and then you just spam Essences of Horror, I think it was. It's either Horror or Delirium, one of the two. Let me take a look. It is... Okay, Essence of Horror. You'll use Essence of Horror for your helmet. You'll use Essence of I can't talk! Essence of Delirium on your gloves. The gloves, you are also going to want to get the 30% damage over time, which you get from Essence of Delirium. I got really lucky and got max life with a open prefix and 41 strength and 6% increased dex. That's a hell of a roll for a pair of gloves. Don't expect anything like that. Really all you need is life, socketed gems, and then hopefully an open prefix, but if you don't have one, you can also craft, like some resist or whatever on there, but I do recommend having an open prefix so you can get that +1 to level of socketed AoE gems, because that is great for your flame wall. For your belt, you're going to look for a Elder base. You don't have to have anything crazy like item level-wise. This is only a level 76. You'll just craft... I like to use the life fossils. Just use a single life fossil and just keep hitting a leather belt eldered. For the life recovery rate, you're looking for the 17 to 20 roll. Anything less than that, and you're getting tier 2, it's not really worth it. I do recommend tier 1 on that. I got pretty lucky on mine. I got max life with cold resist and the good life recovery rate. And energy shield, but who cares about that? Not with this build. Then we have some boots. I bought these for like 3 chaos, and I just haven't replaced them yet, but really you're just looking for cold and lightning resist because you're going to be capped on fire. You're not going to give a shit about fire. So life, 2 resists. You can craft movement speed on them, or you can just try to find some 30% movement speeds, but they're kind of expensive. You'll want a Sapphire's Frame for the 30% increased spell damage, which is pretty nice, pretty damn nice, and the chance to block spell damage, which is nice. Replica Atziri's Foible. A must for this build. It's ridiculous. You can equip it at level 16. You will need to allocate Divine Judgment, which is a sepia oil, a teal oil, and a black oil. What that'll do is it gives you 50 to your increased elemental damage. Pretty fucking awesome. It is one of the best items I've ever seen come out for a league. You do not necessarily need to have a 21-23 Righteous Fire, or Vaal Righteous Fire, but I do recommend at least a, if you can, a 21-20 Vaal Righteous Fire. It's going to be hard to get, but I'd recommend it. If not, just a 2020 Vaal Righteous Fire will work. I'm using Awakened Elemental Focus. Again, 21-20 Elemental Focus or 20-20 Elemental Focus will work. I'm using Awakened Increased Area of Effect support. All these are 20%. I don't recommend anything under 20% on these, especially because they add damage. Like, this is area damage. That right there is elemental damage. And this right here, obviously is increased burning damage. Very important. And then, Efficacy, or however the hell you want to pronounce that shit. I bought a 21-20 a few minutes ago. Just a 20-20 works, but that gives you increased damage over time. Super nice for this build. Highly, highly recommended. Kaom's Ways. You can buy some Kaom sign, and then you get the prophecy for the King's Path. Then all you have to do is go kill Kaom in Act 4, and it'll give you a Kaom's Way. Easily best ring for this build. Regenerates 0.4% of your life per second per endurance charge, which you're going to have 8 of at all times with this build. Then we are going to need faster attacks, Purity of Fire. Purity of Fire, very important. You do not have to have any quality. Recommend, level 21 if you can get it. If not, just go ahead and keep it at 20. It's fine. And then Shield Charge with quality, because that gives you movement speed, which important with Shield Charge. So get that movement, or get a little bit of movement speed on there. And then Fortify. I don't have anything. You don't need quality with that. I tried to corrupt it. I failed. Why, it's 19. It'll go up. Flame Wall. I do recommend getting a 2020 or 2120, but right now I'm using a 19, but it gives me +1 because of the item, and then I get +1 from the global modifiers because my weapon here is +1 to all fire spell skill gems. Recommended 100%. If you're not using a Sceptre with +1 to all fire spell gems and crafted 20% fire damage over time multiplier or something with fire damage over time multiplier, and preferably with a little bit of burning damage or fire damage on it, you're doing it wrong. That's what you need right there. Do not get one if it has any sort of damage to spells. You do not want damage to spells on that build, because that will completely fuck up your elemental equilibrium. Don't do it. So no EE if you do that. That ruins it. So get one without any sort of a spell gem, fire, damage to spells, basically, from any type. Don't do it. It'll fuck it up. So do that, but you'll with this Flame Wall section, you'll use Flame Wall, Elemental Focus Support, Controlled Destruction, and Awaken Burning Damage if you can get it. If not, just regular 2020 burning damage. Burning damage will give increased burning damage and fire damage over time multiplier, at least the Awakened version. The regular one, I think, gives burning damage, but doesn't have the fire damage over time. So I do recommend the Awakened version. For chestpiece, Kaom's Heart, 40% fire damage. Can't beat it. Not really. Not for this build. That takes over the gear section. Now for the flasks, you're going to want a Witchfire Brew. I recommend getting one with high damage over time. This was very cheap, and it was only 40. It was a 40%, so it was a perfect one, and I think I got it for like NC or something. So I'd grab one of those. You'll want a sulfur flask, preferably of warding. That way you can get rid of curses. Then you get a Quicksilver flask of staunching. I'm using two staunching flasks because I do a lot of Uber Atziri, and the trio will kick your ass if you don't have some sort of an extra bleeding on there. So I'm using immune to bleeding on that, and then I've also got a granite flask, which gives a lot of armor with bleeding and duration, and then I'm using a diamond flask specifically for my Orb of Storms so that I can proc this. Now we have Wave of Conviction. Keep it at level 2. No need to level it any higher than that. That'll just, give them the LE resist from highest damage taken, which is going to be fire damage. And then Orb of Storms. That is just going to, proc your elemental overload. Really, really needed in this build. Malevolence, it depends on how much dex you have. But I've got mine at 8. 8 seems to be a good number for me. You may have to have it lower, because this build does not get any dex. Like, hardly at all. Like right now as it sits, I only have 33. The only reason I can equip this is because of my Atziri's Foible, which items and gems have 25% reduced attribute requirements. Pretty important. So, for the actual skill tree. So, you're going to want to obviously go down here, hit these life nodes, hop over here, then go up here. You're going to grab this on the way up, because Warcry is going to be a big part of your build. Come up here. And then what I did is I went over here and I grabbed this. That'll give you a little bit more life regen. And then I shot straight over here. And I stopped at Shaper, because at that point I didn't have Orb of Storms and everything set up. You can go all the way up here and hit LE Equilibrium, Ash, Frost, and Storm if you'd like. Just grab all this right in the beginning. Don't really go any further than that. Don't go up here yet. Then what you'll want to do is come down here. Hop over here and then start going down here. I'd probably grab Unwavering Stance first, and then go back, grab these 2 nodes. Don't worry about this one yet. That's more of a toward the end of the game type of node. So that's kind of a last thing you grab. Then I came up here and I grabbed these for the mana cost of skills, plus the increased maximum life, because that's pretty damn nice. I came across here, grabbed all this, And then you want to come over here. Exerted attacks deal 20% damage, 12% increased Warcry cooldown. This right here, 15% increased Warcry cooldown recovery rate, 10% of life when you use a Warcry, so it just shoots your life right up. And then 20% increased damage for each time you've Warcried recently, which you have that on left click. That is your left click ability. Then you come down here, you snag this Enduring Charge, or Endurance Charge right here. Then you come down here, skip this for now, come straight down here, and you're going to go right into Call to Arms. Warcries are instant, and Warcries share their cooldown. Very important. After that, came up here, grab this life node, that life node. Then come back up. Then you can grab this this gem node if you would like. I don't recommend going into gems quite yet, unless you've got some really badass ones laying around. Come up here, run straight up to Ellie Overload. Grab that. Then go back down. Grab these nodes because you get a little more regen of life per second. And then... no, I would not grab that yet. What I do is... or what I did, I should say, is I went straight down here. I grabbed Retribution. And then I went down to Discipline and Training. Then I went back. I hit these AoE nodes. Then I came up here, grabbed this. Then I went back, grabbed these for more regen of life. Came straight down here, grabbed all 3 of these, and then I grabbed both of these for the endurance charges. Then I came back, I grabbed all these LE resist nodes, because they're pretty nice. And plus the one to all max resistances. Mucho bueno. Then come over here, grab this fire damage. That gives you a little bit of strength and int along with that, so you get a little bit of health too, because, you know, strength. Then come down here, grab all these chaos damage nodes, or chaos resistance nodes along with life. Then what you're going to mainly go into is just these life nodes right down here. After you've grabbed the life nodes, or, well, I'd say at least grab these 2 right off the bat. Those 2, guaranteed. Then come over here and grab these, because you're going to get more life between these 2 nodes than you would with the other nodes right away. And then just go ahead and fill that out. And then you'll fill these 2 out. And what I'm going to be doing for the end part of my build, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to go right here. And then I'm going to go right here. And then I'm going to go here. That way we get more fire damage over time. And more fire damage. Now, the ignite portion, you can... who the fuck cares? But that right there is a lot of extra damage. Right now, on my path of building, let me pull it over here. This is my Vaal Righteous Fire. We are at 5.25 million. Well, 5.26 million. For the .DPS of my Vaal Righteous Fire. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's the Vaal version. Tap. I'm not even streaming. I gotta follow. Okay. And we have Righteous Fire here, which is 1.25 mil. Which this is just base Righteous Fire damage. So that's... while you're just running around. Flasks are enabled, so flasks are enabled. So you will shit on everything. I'm only 91 at this point. I have 8,311 health. Now, there are jewels that you're going to try to get. Some of them are expensive. This one, I paid 6 exalts for. But you ain't getting anything better than that. I mean, you can divine that. And then you'll get better, but that's pretty much it. That's what you're looking for. You can replace or supplement the damage over time, or even the fire damage with increased fire damage over time, but you're going to get more damage over time if you're using the 12% increased damage over time versus the 3 to 4% for fire damage over time. So keep that in mind. But really, that's the kind of gems you're looking for. You will possibly need something with attributes. This one right here is increased spell damage while dual wielding. You can negate that stat completely. But this one's damage over time and fire damage with some attributes. I needed some attributes. It's the only reason it's there. And this gem wasn't too bad down here. Damage over time, fire damage, 5% increased attack speed while holding a shield. That helps with your shield charge. Again, not necessary, but I thought it was kind of a nice thing to have. And the chaos damage obviously is negated. Unless you're using a weapon that... you know, throws fire damage to chaos damage. That's the only thing that would help. But it's not really all that necessary. But that pretty much covers that section of it. I'm sure you all want to kind of see what kind of damage we're actually doing here, so I'm not just jabbering. But here is a T16. Let's roll it right now. You can run pretty much anything. I'll try to make it a little spicy for you. There we go. Okay, so 2 unique bosses, grotto map, magic monsters have a bloodline, reduce damage from extra crits, and we'll Vaal it. Alright, so we got additional quantity and quality. Makes it a little more interesting. We'll do that and that. I don't want to throw a higher tier one on there, but we'll have that and that. We'll also throw bloodlines on it, so we have additional. So it's a pretty juicy map. Alright, so throw all that on. And this is a T16 to me. It's nothing. It's absolutely fucking nothing. And for Righteous Fire, that is some ridiculous damage. For the amount of tankiness that's in this build, it's just not even a fight. It's not even a fight. Let's just do a real quick clear. And you're going to be using your Foible just to kind of proc things. And I haven't even been using this, but there we go. Drop that down. There we go. Orb of Horizons. Now, the gear you do see me wearing right now is expensive. You can start out this build with Kaom's Ways, which are about 30C a piece. You can get a Replica Atziri's Foible. They are anywhere between 20 and 50. It depends on the day. The Life Regen Belt is not necessarily required, but it definitely does help. Or Life Recovery Belt, not Regen. Life Recovery Belt is nice, but definitely not required. The gloves, you definitely need the socketed damage over time, but that's actually pretty cheap. You just get a hunter base, you can craft it yourself. They're, I think I took 2 or 3 attempts, and I made these ones I'm wearing. I made a pair for one of my buddies. She got one. I've got another pair for sale right now. They're like 1.5x. It really, it's pretty easy to get them. My helmet, not the easiest thing in the world to craft, especially with triple tier. My buddy blew 40 exalts last night trying to craft one like mine, and he failed. So don't necessarily expect that you're going to get one like that. But what you could get is one with like 20 conk effect with elemental damage. That right there would be enough. It's at least a good chunk of damage for sure. Or burning damage. Burning damage is also a good option instead of conk effect. I actually run increased area of effect. Awakened increased area of effect. So I'm not too worried about that. But the amount of damage, as you can see, is, for Righteous Fire, it's pretty damn high. And yes, I do melt bosses. Not necessarily as fast as, you know, like, let's say a, Ball Lightning Miner or something, but I mean, it's 5 million DPS, it's a damage over time build. You're not going to one-shot things. You're not going to pop them like that, but you will definitely fuck them up. Here, let's just run over here and kill the boss real quick so you can kind of see the boss DPS. He's going to be in the little alcove down there, but let me clear out the rest of this thing real quick. I am still low on maps, so I am doing my best to get some maps. They have not been that friendly to me. They haven't been bad, but they haven't been that friendly. I've actually been getting quite a few from doing Hall of the Grand Masters on this build. Oh yeah, this is twin bosses. Now this is standing in explosions and everything else. That's standing in explosions. It doesn't care. But that's the build. I will link the path of building down below. I hope you all enjoy it if you do end up trying it. Oh, we still got a little bit of content over here. Let's get some more content. But I will definitely link the path of building down below. Now, if you like the You know, if you like the tips and stuff that I gave you in here, don't follow me necessarily on YouTube, but I do stream every single fucking day. I've been streaming on Twitch for over 9 years. If you want to pop by my Twitch, just say hello. If you want to give it a follow, go for it. I'm not the most entertaining person, but I'm also not the worst. I'll give it that, you know? But I've been on here for a little over 9 years. I'm burnt out. I'm old. I'm 35 years old. My body hurts constantly, so... Here we go. But you can see, this is, It's honestly stupid damage. Hey, a steel ring. Sweet. Well, that makes me happy. And as you can see, the regen that you have on this build is just absolutely nutty. I think right now as it sits, this is one of the strongest... another steel ring? Why the fuck wasn't I streaming this? I could have put this thing in a clip. Anyway. This is, what I'd honestly recommend for doing a Righteous Fire build. You don't necessarily need to have all of the gear, but at least Kaom's Heart, Atziri's, 2 Kaom's Ways, and a belt with some life recovery. Definitely Saffles, but you can get a +1 fire spell, skill gems with some burning damage or some fire damage over time, and it'll be just simple. Just try to get it on a Void Scepter. You want to have it on something with a lot of elemental damage. But that's it for the video. If you like it, just go ahead and download that Path of Building, see if it's something you're interested in, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.